So this is the second video in multiplying polynomials. Let's start off by looking at a binomial times a binomial, and then we'll look at a slightly more difficult example. So example, and I might do this using the box method that I talked about, just to show you that you don't have to use the box method. I'm just showing it to you. So this one here, so if I were to use the box method, I would put 3x minus 2y in two columns like that, and then I would put 3x and 2y in that row there. It doesn't matter which one you put where, as long as you put one across and one vertically. And then go 3x times 3x, it's going to give me 9x squared. 3x times that is going to give me a minus a 6x and y. This times this, that's 6x and y. That times that's a minus 4y squared. And so you could add right here in the box itself, or you could write your results down and then add them. So these are my results, sort of the intermediate step. And then you can cancel these because they're like terms. One's plus 6 and one's minus 6. And you end up by getting 9x squared minus 4y squared. And yes, in this particular case, this is a very special problem. You'll see this later on as well. But in this particular case, it works out that you could just take the first and the last, and that would be your answer when you multiply them. Here's another example of this kind. Let's say you had x let's say you had x plus 5 squared. Well, that is nothing but x plus 5 times x plus 5. So when I'm doing these, I'll just kind of do them in a different selection of terms. I did one box, so this one I won't use the box. I will just go ahead and distribute through. So x times x is x squared, x times 5 is 5x, 5 times x is 5x, and then 5 times 5 is 25. So that's x squared plus 10x plus 25. And let me do one more like that. I want you to see something, and that would be, so if I had this one, 2x minus 3 squared, that is again 2x minus 3 times 2x minus 3. And if I were to distribute out 2x times 2x, that's 4x squared. 2x times that's minus 6x, minus 6x, another one, and that times that's a plus 9. And that tells me 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. Alright, so there's something interesting about these two questions. If you look carefully at this first one, this is, so, and you compare it to that, this is that x squared, this is 25 5 squared, and in the middle what you get is 2 times 5 times x, 10x. Does that pattern hold true for the second one here? Let's see. So we have 2x minus 3 squared. This is 2x times 2x, 4x squared. This is 3 times 3, that's 9. And in the middle, we have 3 times 2x minus, that's 6, times 2, which is 12, which is what that is. So that kind of leads us to a shortcut formula. If you want to use this, you can always distribute, but there's a shortcut to this. And the shortcut formula is a plus b squared. Maybe rewrite that nicer. A plus b squared is equal to a squared plus 2 times ab plus b squared. Or if you had a minus b squared, well, that's a squared minus 2ab plus b squared, like you saw in the example above. So we can do one example for this formula. Let's say we had 3x minus 2 squared. Well, this here is like my a, this is like my b, so we get a squared, which is 3x squared, b squared, which is 2 squared, and in the middle you have minus 2 times 2, 3x. So this is 9x squared minus 6 times 2 is 12 plus 4. You can check this out by distributing in the normal way and see if you get that same answer. But that is a little shortcut formula that might speed things through. So in general, multiplying any two polynomials, you're just going to distribute. Right? So multiplying any two polynomials. So example, let's say we had to multiply 3x plus 7 times 4x squared minus 5x minus 3. So we can do this with distribution, or we could do this with the table. Either one works. Using distribution, you go 3x times 4x squared minus 3x 5x minus 3x 3 plus 7 4x times 7 4x squared times minus 7 times 5x. These two minus 7 times 3. So this is going to be 12x cubed. This is going to be 15x squared. It's going to be 9x, 28x squared, 35x, 21. So let's combine like terms. So this one doesn't have a friend, so it's just 12x cubed minus 15x squared and 20. So these two match. So that would be a positive 13x squared. And then these two match. So that would be a negative 44x. And then the last but not least is the constant. So just taking this idea of distribution to go all the way through. This is one of the easiest questions you can get. So make sure you plan to get this sort of question right. Okay, let's do one more. So this time let's go x squared minus 4x plus 3 times 3x squared minus 4. So if it seems awkward the way it's written, meaning if you prefer the binomial in front, there's nothing wrong in changing it. Remember, you can commute these, you can move them around, commutative property, because it's multiplication, like I just did. So now let's distribute it. So this times this, 3x squared times x squared. This times this, minus 3x squared 4x. This times that, positive 3x squared times 3 plus, minus that times that, 4x squared. Okay, so on this one, negative times a negative is a positive 4x. This times that, negative 4 times 3. Okay, so I don't try to think of too many things. I'm just trying to think of the distribution and the signs when I do that step. And now I'm going to go back through and do the multiplication. So here it's going to be 3x to the 4th minus 12x to the 3rd plus 9x squared minus 4x squared, 16x minus 12. And then I worry about combining like terms. So 3x to the 4th doesn't have a partner. How about x to the 3rd? Doesn't seem to have one. x to the second. Oh, there are two of them right there. So that's going to be plus 5x to the second, 1 x to the first, minus 12. Descending order as well. Okay, excellent. Thank you. That's it for this multiplication video.